I'm now shooting with the Blazar Remus 35mm on the Lumix S5. And the Blazar Remus 35mm is originally meant for S35 sensors. So usually what I do when I shoot with the Lumix S5 with the Blazar Remus 35mm is that I shoot in APS-C mode. But since Lumix S5 has a 16:9 sensor, or you can only shoot in 16:9, not open gate. This means that when you get the 1.5x squeeze, you get a 266:1 aspect ratio, which I think looks very good. Wider aspect ratios has become much more popular. If you look at films like The Creator, 28 Years Later, Sinners, they're all shot in 277:1, so it's not unheard of delivering in a wider aspect ratio. But let's say you want to shoot in 239:1, or you want to deliver in 239:1. You then need to zoom in on the image quite a bit, or like around 1.12x zoom into the image. But what I'm trying now is that I'm now shooting in full frame mode. And obviously, if I show you here, you can obviously see like the edges of the lens if you show the whole sensor. But if you crop into a 239 delivery, if that's what you want, you only have to zoom in around 1.3x. And actually, if you do a lens correction, if you correct the barrel distortion, you actually only have to, you obviously then correct the edges of the lens. They become straight, and you actually get to use more of the sensor. So then you only have to zoom in 1.2x to get a 239:1 delivery. Which is great. If I show you here, I'll show you some footage of what it looks like with the camera the same place, but in APS-C mode. Thought I'd just film a little bit in the APS-C mode, just so you can see the difference. Obviously, if you use this as a reference, the painting, you can obviously see that you're getting much more height and much more out of the frame. So this is actually how I've been shooting most of my footage in this mode. Actually in IBIS mode as well, so then you get even less out of your out of the lens. You can see that you get much more out of the sensor when you're shooting in full frame mode, even though you don't get to use the whole sensor because it's meant for S35. If you're using the Lumix S5 and you like using IBIS, it won't work as well. You will obviously the edges of the frame will become shaky, and you'll see it in the frame. But if you have more locked off shots, like with this, interviews or just talking heads and stuff like that, or you're shooting a film where you're mostly shooting on sticks, then this could be a great way to get more out of your Blazar Remus 35mm. Or you can just buy a full frame anamorphic, obviously. I do think that Blazar 35mm, out of what I've seen, I obviously haven't used the full frame Blazar Remuses. I do feel like the Blazar Remus 35mm has the best anamorphic characteristics. So it is nice knowing that you can use the lens on a full frame sensor and not having to crop that much. Also, you'll obviously get a sharper image because you're pulling more back on the lens. So yeah, hope this was interesting to some of you. Obviously, I didn't get to shoot that much, or didn't get to shoot any like test footage, but maybe I'll do that in the future. Or maybe some of you guys want to test this out, and if you do, please do let me know, and I'd love to watch and see that footage. Yeah, so that's it.